Alright, so this video started off with me wanting to do a review of the Stromer ST2, more so even just e-bikes in general, which we will do in this video. However, it was funny, yesterday as I was going around specifically, this was 7 in the morning here. I wanted to start counting how many scooters I saw thrown somewhere, blocking the sidewalk, blocking the street, just generally disrespected, because they're becoming a huge problem. I don't know if you guys live in one of these cities, it really depends on your geo, but these electronic scooters are just taking up everywhere. They get in your way, people are parking them on sidewalks, in the middle of the streets, everywhere. And part of my points with this review was to kind of say how, you know, something you own is really gonna be a lot more impactful than something you're renting. And it kind of occurred to me yesterday as we were doing this, there's a certain equation that comes into play with these electronic scooters, even these bikes that you rent. So ultimately what this equates to is lack of consequence with these scooters, which is theft, which is damage. People don't care about them. It's a one-time use type of commodity to them, plus convenience. I can leave it wherever I want. The store I'm going to is right here. My friend's apartment is right there. I'm just gonna leave it outside for someone else to deal with. Equals a big annoyance. And that's a problem. When you look at bikes and e-bikes, things you own, things you take a little bit more respect of, because by their very nature, they're more expensive, they have better GPS built into them. It seems like those companies building them right now, Jump for example, the one sponsored by Hulu, they're really taking care of them. They have designated parking spots. They make sure when you try to park them that you leave them in a safe area. They're holding people accountable. These scooter companies that haven't been regulated are leaving scooters everywhere. Again, this was 7 a.m., so let's take a quick look at how this actually played out. How many scooters we saw here, because it was pretty astounding. In general, not only were they unregulated and just on every single street corner, hundreds, as you can see, half of them were knocked over, blocking a bike path, blocking a walkway, just generally unsafe. Imagine if you have a stroller with you. Imagine if you're on a wheelchair. You now have to somehow physically get this scooter that's on the ground out of your way, and it's completely unnecessary that this continues to happen. So anyway, guys, that's enough ranting. Let's talk about the e-bike I got. All right, guys, so today's video is gonna be a little bit different. We're taking a look at something I use to haul around all my camera gear, get around, and it's a very fun piece of tech since I've got it. What I did was I took my tax return this year, and I actually found this is a pretty expensive bike. I got a used one. Today's review is gonna be more about e-bikes in general and my perception after owning one, but if you are curious about the Stromer ST2, that's what we're riding today, so it's a very fun bike. Again, I want to point out I did luck out. I got the demo floor model, and I got it for 1/3 of the price, so I got a really good deal. It was well maintained, and I'm very happy with this bike. So first and foremost, why would you get an e-bike? Well, they're a lot of fun, so I love riding this thing around. It's got 3 pedal assist modes. Basically, number one, it's a 65-pound bike. So when you're on the first level of pedal assist, it's basically just gonna take the weight away. It's very easy to ride this around. So pedal assist level 2 is where it starts to get fun. You're gonna accelerate pretty quickly, and then you're gonna get up to about 20 miles an hour pretty easily and be able to maintain that easily as well. Level 3 is insane. You just end up with Superman legs. You can accelerate very quickly, sometimes faster than the cars next to me, and that'll easily take you up to 28 miles an hour. So let's talk about the max speed on this and e-bikes in general. There's gonna be 3 types of classes for e-bikes. Class 1 is gonna take you up to 20 miles an hour with the pedal assist. So as you're pedaling, the motor's helping towards that pedaling effort. Type 2 is gonna be a similar max speed where it's 20 miles an hour, but it's gonna give you pedal assist as well as a throttle. So not only do you get pedal assist, but you can hold a button, twist the knob, and it's gonna take you up to 20 miles an hour, and you're gonna be able to sustain that very easily without any pedaling whatsoever. Type 3, which is what this bike is gonna take you up to 28 miles an hour with pedal assist. It may or may not include a throttle. The one I'm on does have a throttle, but it only goes up to 12 miles an hour, so that's something to be aware of. Other ones, again, will maybe take you up to 20 or even 28. That's really as far as you can go inside of the legal boundaries. There's other bikes that'll take you beyond that, even 30. You can hack them as well, but up to 28 is really where you want to stay in that sweet spot, because with legislation and things coming out now, that will give you something practical that you can ride every day. So I found this thing is just a great way to get around. You don't have to necessarily follow all the roads. You can take it on paths. You can take it, off the road. So that's why I just have so much fun on here, because you can cruise past cars really. I've actually been in situations where there's a lot of traffic, which is probably something you can hear right now near me, and I'm just flying by cars. I definitely recommend, if you're gonna ride one of these, wear a helmet. That's not something you're gonna wanna get into without a helmet because, again, you're going 20 plus miles an hour. You don't wanna be the one that crashes and doesn't have a helmet on. There's lots of helmet options out there. I ended up getting this POC helmet. So this actually has lights on the back. Let me show you. So it's gonna have lights and flashing lights. There's some other ones that have larger lights. This for me was just nice. It was built into the helmet. It was rather discreet. The bike itself on this does also have built-in headlights and tail lights. You're gonna see a light back here. This also allows to attach bags on either side, which I've done. So I've been doing things like getting groceries on this bike from day to day. So this front light on the Stromer is always gonna be on. However, the rear lights and the front headlight is something you can turn off. You don't have to have them on all the time. Another thing to note on this bike is I upgraded the seat. I found something that was really comfortable for me. I suggest you do the same. I personally like to stand a lot when I'm riding, but that is something to definitely consider if you're getting an e-bike or a bike in general. So some other cool features of this bike, which I really love, are the fact that it actually has built-in cellular. So if someone steals this, you can track it on a map. You can lock and unlock the bike remotely. Now, honestly, you can still kind of take it, but what it does is essentially applies the brake periodically if you're trying to roll it and it's locked. It does set off an alarm to your phone if it thinks someone's stealing it. I haven't found a situation where I've moved it 10 feet or so and it set off the alarm, so I think you really have to move it out of range, and at that point it does let you know. So it's a good thing to have, it gives you peace of mind, but ultimately you're still gonna wanna lock up the bike. It's definitely not something you're gonna be able to just essentially lock on here and have peace of mind that no one's gonna take it. For me, why I love this so much, it's easy to throw on a backpack, get places. A 16-mile bike ride ends up becoming something that's very easy to do. So the other thing here is that you can basically just strap on bags on the side, you can get groceries, you can go shopping, and it's gonna do most of the work, and you're gonna end up having a lot of fun while you're doing it. Plus, you get a little bit of exercise. It's a little bit easier than driving. All you gotta do is lock up your bike when you get there. So overall, I've had a lot of fun with this thing. I definitely recommend it. All right, so we're gonna do a quick acceleration test to show you how quickly this thing works in the 3 modes. We'll do no pedal assist, level 1, level 2, and level 3 pedal assist, and I'm just gonna go between the 2 trash cans here. So let's take a look. Again, we'll stack them together so you can see the different speeds and how much it's really gonna help, and quite frankly, how much fun it is. So what really needs to happen is the introduction of regulation. And normally I wouldn't be someone to say this. I don't want to hinder innovation, but it's at that point. They need to start introducing things like Santa Monica has been doing, where you have very specific areas where you can park these scooters. They cut off a chunk of the road, maybe they take a parking spot away. This is really the way we need to think forward. We need to look for delivery zones. We need to look for conveniences, places where you can leave these near public areas, near apartments, but not leave them in the way of traffic, leave them in the way of pedestrians, leave them as obstacles in the way of our everyday lives. So I'm all for these types of technologies, but really, there has to be some level of a consequence. So whether it's a ticket, whether it's impounding it, whether it's revoking your ability to ride these in the future, I really hope these guys step up and introduce some level of consequence, because consequence plus convenience equals sustainability. So that's really it. If you are thinking about getting an e-bike, definitely do your research. There's a lot out there and the price ranges vary drastically depending on your use cases. But whether you're a mountain biker, commuter, someone that needs to go on the streets, there's a lot of options out there for you. For me, this was the best fit. Again, I found it on a great sale, so I was really happy with it. However, if you guys have any questions, please comment down below and I'll let you know my feedback with this bike. So that's really it, guys. I've got another drone video coming next. I'm not gonna turn this into a drone channel, but I did get some footage over the weekend with the Mavic Original, Mavic Air, and the Mavic 2 Pro, as well as the Zoom. I actually swapped out the gimbals, so I'll show you how to do that. It's super easy. So one more drone video coming, but it's a pretty in-depth example. We throw on some ND filters to see how those handle as well. As always, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, definitely consider it, and I'll see you in the next one.